Hey, Motorman here. If you just wandered on this channel by some strange twist of fate, you have no idea who I am. They call me the Motorman because I'm a former motor officer and motor officer instructor. I'm the guy who brought the motor officer techniques to you, the average person, via video. I started back in 1999. If you want to learn the motor officer techniques, I'm your guy. I'm the first guy who ever did this. And today we're going to talk about Harley-Davidson sales, which I just read an article, they're down 16% over the same period last year. The strange part is CVO models are up. Sales are up 25%. Makes no sense that the most expensive models are doing very well and the regular models, which are admittedly expensive as well, our sales are down 16%. So what does that mean for you? Well, right now, dealers are overstocked with motorcycles. You go to any Harley-Davidson dealership and they are filled with bikes. The exact opposite of what occurred about a year and a half or 2 years ago, especially during COVID, where they couldn't get enough new motorcycles. There was, because of the supply chain, they couldn't get the chips or whatever was needed. So bikes were sitting in warehouses. They couldn't deliver them. Now it's the exact opposite. In fact, at the end of 2022 model year, they started sending all kinds of motorcycles to Harley dealerships and other brands as well. In fact, just about all motorcycles, at least here in Florida, from what I've seen, and I do check this out, all motorcycle shops are filled with bikes. They've got side-by-sides, they got ATVs, you name it, they got all the motorcycles and ATVs they could possibly need. And the same is true with Harley-Davidson. When I was over in Daytona, I saw that dealership, I mean, just jammed with every color, every combination, every model. They've got the bikes. And the same thing with Newport Richie and up in Crystal River and Gator Harley-Davidson. They got all the inventory. So what should happen, generally does happen, when you've got a lot of inventory and sales are down, the price has to come down. It just makes common sense. You would think common sense isn't very common, but that's how it should work. So the days of dealerships getting $2,000, $3,000 or $5,000 over MSRP plus a $1,500 dealer fee, they should be over. I'm not telling you that that's the way it is, but it should be that way. So if you're looking for a new Harley-Davidson, this is the time to bargain. This happened back in, I think, 2009 or so, when the economy had gone down and dealerships had plenty of motorcycles. They were discounting them. Now, Harley-Davidson can't advertise any price under MSRP. In fact, you never see a Harley-Davidson advertised. They never mention price, but it cannot be below MSRP. But of course, the dealership can do whatever they want. If they want to lose money on a new motorcycle, they can do it. If they want to make $500 profit and that's it, they can do it. But they can't advertise that price. And keep in mind, too, that the price of used motorcycles, Harley-Davidsons especially, have dropped as well, because for a while there weren't enough new bikes, so dealers went out and they purchased from anybody they could find, and they had in the paper, whatever, even knocked on people's doors if they saw a new motorcycle outside, and they would offer that person as much as what they paid for it new, just so they have some inventory. And of course, if you paid $25,000 for a used motorcycle, you got to up the price on it. So they would sell the used bike for another $2,000 over that. But that's not the case now. So if the new motorcycle gets discounted, you can bet that if you got a trade-in, that it's not going to be worth what it was a year and a half or 2 years ago. They're going to give you less for that. It's the only way they can keep in business. So keep these things in mind. If you're looking for a new bike, it's a buyer's market right now, not a seller's market. If you got a trade-in, you're probably better off trying to sell it on your own. In fact, you're always better off doing that. But if you decide to trade it in, you're not going to get as much money as you would have a year and a half ago. And that's, just economics. If they lower the price on the new vehicle, the used vehicle of the same make and model is going to be worth less. But it is a buyer's market. I'd shop around. If I was looking for a new Harley-Davidson right now, I'd go to several dealerships. But when you go into the dealership and they have the bike that you want, when you make them an offer on that bike, you got to be able or ready to purchase that motorcycle right then and there. If not, if you go in and tell them, look, yeah, I kind of want a white Electra Glide or maybe a black one or a blue one. I really don't know what I want. I'm just shopping around. You're going to get nowhere. You're never going to get an actual price. You got to be ready to buy when you walk in the door. So check the internet, make sure they got the model that you want. Go to that dealership. If they can't meet your price, go someplace else. A lot of these places now are owned by car dealers, and they're used to this type of bargaining. Talk to the manager, and I got to bring in a closer, whatever it is, all the games that car dealers play, they're now doing it with motorcycles. And it's just the way it is. Anytime, especially if you have a trade-in, there's never going to be a fixed price on anything. So I hope you learned something. And I'm going to put that article, or link to the article underneath this video if you want to check it out. That says that sales are down 16% for Harley. And like I said, it's probably down for all motorcycles. Till next time. Don't go away just yet. Right now here in Florida, it's the best time to ride. Average temperature is about 75 degrees. In the morning, it's in the high 50s. It's the perfect time to take a Ride Like a Pro class. And if you want to fly down here to Florida, rent a car up the airport, ride up to my class. I've got an Electra Glide or a Sportster that you can rent and take the class. The class is only $150. To rent the motorcycle, it's $125. And just go to ridelikeapro.com and click on Classes with Motorman. We will change your riding life forever in about 4 or 5 hours.